Hello and welcome to the Family Show. I'm your host, Eleanor Rossman, and joining me this week and every week are Brenda and Randy Lee. So good to be with you.
Yes, good to be here.
And this
Good to have
beautiful,
Brenda back.
beautiful spring day, right?
Yep.
You know, I've been thinking lately.
Sun is shining.
Sun is shining. Thinking like, you know, I was talking to my husband about this, to try to focus every day on seeing something, thinking of something that's beautiful, true, and good. Those three things, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll say, okay, well, here, the first thing I can say today, what is beautiful, good, and true is seeing you two and doing our radio show, right? I can cover all three bases right there. It's a triple.
Wow. That's
right?
great.
Boy, do you have a twisted perception on reality? But
all right, back to you. Stop pontificating. Today we're going to talk about the tried and true 10 Commandments.
we are, and for most of my Christian life, I've had this really odd relationship with the 10 Commandments. And you think about it, you would think any serious Christian, or to put it more aptly, anyone who takes Christianity seriously would want to know what the 10 Commandments are, right? How do you get to heaven? You be good. How are we good? We follow the rules. What are the rules? Well, the 10 Commandments, right? If you wanted to cross a minefield, you would want a map of the minefield. You would want to know where the landmines were, so you would know where you could step and not blow yourself up, right?
Sure.
On some level, I've always had this amorphous feeling that the 10 Commandments were the map of the minefield, right? Whatever you do, don't step on one of these 10 places, blow yourself up, right? If you wanted to beat a video game, you would want to know how the game worked. In Toy Story 2, Rex the dinosaur keeps reading this book about how the Zorg game works, right? The 10 Commandments, how the life game, right? Rich young man, all sorts of lawyers asking Jesus how the game works. Jesus always starts by bringing them back to the commandments. Jesus says in Matthew 5, I came not to abolish the law, but to fulfill it. So I guess that means these commandment things, they're still in play. They're still
in play.
Yeah, they're still in play. And yet for all my pagan life, not surprisingly, and even for all my Christian life till very recently, I've had this kind of, from a distance, kind of relationship with the 10 Commandments, right? Can I name all 10? I don't know, right? I haven't tried. I mean, I know there's 10. I know killing and adultery, stealing and lying are in there somewhere. I know there's a bunch of thou shalt nots in there, right? It's possible I know all 10. Maybe I could flounder my way through them, right? So anyway, a couple months ago, I decided I would start reading the 10 Commandments each day. Kind of like, if I'm going to be confessing, I should at least know some stuff that should affect my confession, right? So I start reading the 10 Commandments each day. Blows me away. Nothing like I expected, right? You go to Exodus 20, because that's where they are, right? It starts out, and God spoke all these words saying, which I find amusing that it has that word all in it, right? Not just God spoke these words, right? You got to get, he spoke all of them, not just some of them or half of them. God spoke all of them, right? So what did God speak in that all, right? And God starts out, I am the Lord your God who brought you out of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. It's not even a rule. It's not even a commandment, right? You buy your plaque of the 10 Commandments, they may leave that line out, right? And yet it's in the all. So it's central to understand next, right? So what comes next? You shall have no other God before me, right? You put those first two laws together. If I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage, why would you want to have another God before me?
Mm-hmm.
Why would you need to have another God before me? I am all you need, and I love you.
Right.
I will come and get you and carry you out of the dark places, even to the shadow of death. Right? Bam. That's the first commandment. The first commandment is embrace me. Embrace me. So what's next? No graven image. It's like luck be a lady tonight in Guys and Dolls, right? A lady doesn't wander all over the room and blow on some other guy's dice. Stick with me, baby. I'm the fella you came in with.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that commandment is about. I'm the guy who delivered you, the guy who made you. Get rid of the rocks and carvings and stick with me.
Now you're talking about God, not Frank Sinatra, right?
Exactly. Well, yeah. I mean, easy to confuse the two, right? Third commandment, I'm the one who loves you. Don't be careless with my name. Don't be careless with my name.
Yeah.
Fourth commandment, spend time with me.
Mm-hmm.
Sunday, the Sabbath is date night. Don't schedule over me. Right?
Yeah.
5 through 10, love my children.
Yeah.
Don't hurt my It's not a rule book. The 10 Commandments are not a rule book. It's a love letter, almost tragic in how little it requires. There's no call me during the week, no flowers on my birthday.
Yeah, right.
Let's get dressed up and take me out. It's just be faithful to me. Don't be careless with my name and spend time with me.
Yeah.
Right? God sends us this love letter to preserve, to save, protect the relationship, hoping for a response. And we don't even open the letter. Not even interested in the contents. Randy, I love you. I'm the one who freed you from bondage. I hunger for you. I thirst for you, right? I gave you life. Do you want to know how you can make our love story work? And I respond, no, not particularly. Right?
Well, you know, I'm thinking to myself that so many of us are like little 2-year-olds, you know, because you often think of the commandment says, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. So we get this idea that God is, you know, just this disciplinarian that is just around to tell us what not to do. So you are speaking so differently than what a lot of us interpret the 10 Commandments to be. And as a love letter.
We grew up, that focus was on don't do this, don't do that. And then, you know, you had to meditate. Well, how many lies did I do? So you focus on the number and then you're like, well, that's too many. Let me bring it down. It's like was a game. You know, this will overwhelm him. You know, and really it's a whole new story. And that's why we should revisit them.
Yes.
Often to see what they're saying to us.
And to also realize that, like you said, Randy, that this is a love letter. It's not something to pin us in a corner and bash us over the head with. It's
right.
Hey, this is, you know, and it's very simple, really. Like you said, he's not asking us to send him, you know, Epps or FTD flowers every Father's Day.
That's exactly. If you go to Revelations 2, right? Revelations 2. And Jesus is kind of running through the church, doing it, all the churches in the Christian world, doing sort of an inventory of how things are going, right? And in Revelations 2, he gets to the church in Ephesus, right? No church in the Christian world does the rules better than the church in Ephesus, right? They got the rule things wired, right? but they've forgotten they're not rules. It's a love story. That's what he says to the church in Ephesus, right? You got the rule thing down, but it's not about rules. It was never intended to be about rules. It's intended to be a love story.
Right.
Right. And it's like Brenda said, we get this notion of, we're playing this game, right? And we gotta, what does it take to win? Right. And it's not about winning or losing.
Yeah.
It's about being in this central love relationship of our life and making it work.
It's a way of seeing. It's such a new way of seeing, isn't it? And I think sometimes, and that's, in our spiritual journey, you do start out like little infants, and as we tell little infants, don't touch the stove, it's hot. I mean, it's important to learn what the rules are, okay? But it's really to help us grow in our love for God. And I think that's where we kind of check out.
Mm-hmm. Eleanor, that's a great example, right? So we got this rule, don't touch the stove, right? But where is that rule coming from? It's coming from a place of love.
Right.
It's I'm not saying this because I want to create hurdles in your life. Right. I'm saying this because I want you to be embraced in my love forever.
We have to stop for a break very quickly, but we're going to be back in just a minute. We're talking about the 10 Commandments as a love letter. So stay tuned. We'll be back in just a minute. We are back with the Family Show with Brenda and Randy Lee, and we're talking about the 10 Commandments as a love letter.
That's right. And how messed up I can be in my perception, my appreciation of God, right? So to trivialize all of this, right? Because that's what I do, right? You think about being in high school, right? It's prom season. You'd like to go, but who could you ask, right? Or who would ask you, right? Who would go with you, right? It's Janis Ian's song from the 70s. I don't know if you guys remember this.
Oh, I love
17, right?
Her.
Exactly. I learned the truth at 17 that love was meant for beauty queens, right? It isn't all it seems at 17, right? And every girl in America, in fact, every guy in America was like, that's my song, right? That's my life, right? I'm like miserable and messed up, right? In high school, you're a mess because underneath the surface, everyone in high school knows they're a mess, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So you're at the lunch table by yourself, imagining yourself home, reading a book with the cat or dog on prom night, when who should come walking toward you, right? Or walking toward your table, but the best friend of Shelley Smith, right? And who's Shelley Smith? Shelley Smith is the perfect girl in the senior class for you ladies, right? It's the star player on whatever, sports team, right? Right. So what's Shelley Smith's friend want with you, right? So she asks you if you've asked anyone to prom, right? And you say you're still thinking, which is a lie. You're not thinking, you're hopeless, right?
Right.
And she says that Shelley Smith would like to go with you. And if you ask her, she'd say yes, right? And we're doing all this, jumping through the hoops this way, right? Because this is how we do things in high school, right? But, if you ask her, she'll say yes.
Mm-hmm.
And you thank her and tell her you'll think about it, because that's the cool thing to say.
Right.
You don't tell her in the last 30 seconds your heart has failed 4 times and you haven't breathed since she stopped by your table and mentioned Shelley's name, right? So she turns to leave, but then you stop her and you say, Shelley Smith, why she want to go to prom
with me?
Exactly, with me. And the friend says, because she loves you and she wants to be loved in the way that only you can love her. Right? I'm thinking that's what the 10 Commandments are about. It's not rules. It's relationship. Right? One observation St. Faustina had about God. St. Faustina said to God, you are closer to me than I am to myself. You are closer to me than I am to myself. Wow, you want to talk intimacy. It does not get more intimate than that, right?
Right.
When Walt Disney was starting Disneyland, Disney World, he had this unofficial rule. The character never ends the hug first, right? Mickey, Minnie, Elsa, Anna, a character always lets go of the embrace second, because children need to know they're welcome, held as long as they need to be held, right? That rule is still respected at all the Disney parks to this day. And the cool thing is, God has the same rule. God hugs people, right? Mark 10, God hugs children, right? Let the little children come unto me. And God never releases you first. His hugs are just as long as you want them, just as long as you need them. Right? We've been talking a lot about, or I've been talking a lot about Charlie Marchesi lately. And the thing that really grabbed my attention about in the first place is that Charlie radiates, clearly has this confidence, this trust that God loves him. But at the same time, Charlie radiates this awe, this wonder that he could be loved by God, right? There's this acceptance, but not indifference, appreciation about him, right? Wow, he really loves me, and I have no doubt about that. But I have no idea why, right? I mean, he's God and I'm me, and I don't get the relationship, but man, I'm making this work, right? Rich Mullins, the Christian songwriter of the 80s and 90s, I would say even to today, the Christian songwriter, right? Immensely powerful music. Ask anyone and they will say Rich's signature song is the song Awesome God, which is ironic because Rich didn't really see it as one of his better songs. And for me, I like the song, but I guess I would say it only tells half the story, right? So you have Awesome God, which is a #1 hit on Rich's first commercially successful album. And needless to say, it's about God being awesome, right? Right? When he rolls up his sleeves, he ain't just putting on the Ritz. There's thunder in his footsteps and lightning in his fists. Our God is an awesome God, right? And God is awesome, and that's worth remembering. But then on his last album, before he died, actually, the album was released just after Rich died. Rich has this song, Nothing is Beyond You. And in Nothing is Beyond You, God is still awesome, right? He's everywhere. Time cannot contain him. Dark is not dark to him. Sin can't stain him. Death can't hold him. But what completes the song, the picture, is that this awesome God is somehow crazy in love with us. That's the thing that is not beyond him. The perfect lover somehow loves me, right?
Mhm.
It's Psalm 8. When I look at the heavens, the work of the moon and the stars, which thou hast established,
Mhm.
what is man? Who am I that thou art mindful of me? Right? Father McAllister, Holy Name of Jesus, had this great line, right? Life is a journey to surrender your life to God's love,
Mm.
right?
Wow.
Right? The same God who is king of all eternity, heaven and earth, asks me to call him Father and calls me his child,
Mhm.
right? And it all comes down to surrender, like Father McAllister said. It's all up to you. You look at the Good Shepherd parable. The sheep hear his voice, the sheep follow him. But none of that happens until they become his sheep.
Mhm.
We have to choose to embrace his love. Make yourself his sheep. Then you'll hear his voice and find your path with him. Right? Jesus was present to the scribes and the Pharisees, and yet they didn't hear him. They
Yeah,
didn't
that's
follow
right.
him. They couldn't see, understand what he did.
Mhm.
Right? They weren't his sheep. They never chose to be his sheep. Right? I liken it to, I can sit by someone on the bus. That doesn't mean I'm sitting with them. Right?
Right.
I
Right.
sit by the guy who got on at the stop before me.
Mhm.
Sit with Brenda, right? Those are two very different experiences.
Right.
God has chosen to be God has chosen to be by us. And now God is waiting for us to choose to be with him,
Mhm.
right? God wants to hug you as long as you want to be held in that embrace, to hug him. Right? We just got to figure out how tight and how long we want the hug to be.
Right. I would venture a guess a long time, right? Like, don't let go, you know?
Mm.
But it's a beautiful reflection to think about that. Just that he doesn't want to just be by us, or near us. He wants to be with us. That's the relationship part. He doesn't want just us to know about him. He wants us to know him as he knows us.
Great story about Scott Hamilton, the gold medal figure skating winner,
Mhm.
right? Commentator guy. So anyway, so Scott Hamilton meets this woman, right? And they're starting to go out, and he is like, she is the it girl, right? Right. And shortly into the relationship, they go to lunch, and she says, Scott, I got to ask you this question, right? Are you a Christian? Because I'm a Christian. I take this seriously.
Mhm.
I got to know, are you a Christian? And Scott doesn't have any particular commitment in his faith, but he also knows this is a big question.
This is a
And
deal
you don't want to
breaker.
screw this up, right?
Mhm.
He's got to make this work. So he looks at her and he goes, what is the right answer here? Right? What do you want me to be? Right? And it's the same thing, right? 10 Commandments. I want this relationship to work. That's why I'm coming to these things. That's why I'm responding to these things, because I want this relationship to work.
Right. We're out of time, guys. It happens
No.
so quickly. But we invite all of our listeners to join us every Friday at 12:30 on AM 720 on The Family Show.
And keep us in your prayers.
For Brenda and Randy Lee, I'm Eleanor Rossman, and we leave you with the beautiful sound of seasons.